Hey everyone, happy Friday. It's a little rainy where I'm at, so I've decided to wear my hat today. Getting ready for the cold season, I guess. So welcome to the Periscope. I am JenniferBlanchard. I'm an author and a story coach. I work with serious emerging novelists who want to save time and cut years off their learning curve so that they can write better stories and get published faster. So all week I've been doing NaNoPlanMo, so that's National Novel Planning Month, and I'm going to be doing this all month as a way to get you ready for National Novel Writing Month, which starts November 1st. So 5 days a week during the weekdays, I'm doing Periscopes all about story planning. And this week I've been covering concept and premise, which is really the foundation of writing a good story. Next week I'm diving into character, and the week after that structure, and the week after that scene planning. So you're going to have everything you need to write a really good story during Nano this year. So today I just thought I could answer any questions you might have about concept and premise. So if you have questions about writing stories, please put them in the chat box and I'm more than happy to answer all of them for you. And then I have a couple examples that I've written down that I want to talk about so that you can kind of get a good idea, again, of concept and premise and what it really looks like in a story. So just to define this, hi Russia, how are ya? Glad to have you on here. Hello, how are ya? So again, to explain concept and premise for anyone who hasn't been watching my Periscopes all week, I'll just do a quick recap. Hi from Brazil, how are you? Glad to have you on here. So many people from all over the world. This is awesome. Okay, so concept in very basic terms is just the landscape or the setting of your story. Oh, thank you for all the hearts. Really appreciate them. So concept, the landscape of your story. It's the setting, it's the, stage that the story unfolds on, and it's, China, nice, all over the world. And so that's really what concept is. Concept is just that, piece that brings the most interest and that gotta read it factor to your story. Hi, Indonesia, awesome. Where else is everyone from? Put that in the chat box, I'd love to see. I'm in New York, not New York City, but New York State. And, hi everybody. Glad to see so many people on here. All right, so concept, again, is just the, kind of the heart of your story. So it's the landscape, it's the setting. It could be, a notion or, you like my hair. Oh, thank you so much. It's very blue today. Concept is just, that gotta read it factor. It's the thing that makes your story really interesting before you bring in a plot, a character, and all that stuff. And then a premise is your plot of the story. So again, if you have questions, please put them in the chat box and I'm happy to answer them for you. And if you didn't see all my replays from this week, you can actually go to this website right here, catch.me/inkybites. That's my Twitter handle. And you can get all the replays so you can see everything that I've been talking about, getting you ready to plan your story for Nano. All right, so I have 3 examples that I'm going to talk you through. They're from movies. Actually, one of them is a book that was turned into a movie. But I'm going to just talk you through then. Hi, Argentina. How are you? How many characters is too many in a story? Well, I would have to say that really is based on the story. So you want to make sure that all of your characters have a purpose in the story and that they're not just there because you're, wanting more characters. There's a lot of times you can take several characters and turn them into one person and let them fulfill several roles if they're especially not a main character. But that's a good question, and I'm actually going to be diving a lot deeper into character in my videos next week, so stay tuned for that. Fiction or real? Fiction or real what? What I'm talking about is fiction. So all fiction, novel writing, not anything memoir or anything like that. Just all made up. Oh, you're welcome. All right, so here are the 3 examples. Number 1, Divergent. A lot of you have probably heard of this. You've probably seen the movie or read the book. So let's talk through concept and premise for this. Concept of Divergent is a futuristic society where people are divided into factions based on ideals. That's the concept of the story. Now, that's the concept of the whole series, really. And the reason that it's concept and not premise, which is plot, is because that doesn't really tell us anything. It doesn't give us a story. There's no antagonist, none of that. It's just what makes it interesting, and that's all. So that really can, especially for Divergent, that really built several stories off of that same concept. And that's the idea of concept, is that you can build several stories off of it, and that it doesn't have to just be one. So concept for that is a futuristic society where people are divided into factions based on ideals. And then, or values, whatever you want to call them. And then the premise of that first one, Divergent, is, Tris Prior, she finds out that she's Divergent. And then, she finds out that the antagonist is going after Divergence and is trying to get rid of them, eliminate them from society. So she now has to discover what is Divergent, what does it mean, and why is it a bad thing, and overcome, the inner demons, and then also the external antagonist that's trying to stop her and eliminate her. But that's how the two work together. Now, in the movie My Cousin Vinny, which I picked because it's just such a fun movie, and I love the concept, which is the character Vinny. So a concept can be a character if the character itself is interesting, they have something kind of special about them. That happens a lot with like superheroes and things like that, where you have a character that has some sort of magical power or, superhuman ability that normal people don't have. So My Cousin Vinny, I would say the concept in that is really the mouthy, loud, Italian New York lawyer who's now, doing this trial in the South. So he's obviously just in himself a huge standout character. He's very interesting and funny, and all of these things make for the movie being more interesting than if it was just a regular old lawyer from, the state of Alabama. And so, his character could really be used for any type of story. It doesn't have to just be that one story. It could be lots of stories. And that's how you know that it's concept. Because, again, concept can be used in several different stories because it's not a plot in itself. And so the plot of My Cousin Vinny is, two guys get arrested for a murder that they didn't commit. And now they're on trial, and they're going to get put to death if they don't get, saved from this. And so they bring in their lawyer, Vinny, who is going to now help them break free of this accusation. And so that's the premise of that movie. And then in The Vow, so I picked this one because yesterday I did a Periscope about love stories and talked about how you can amp up your love stories with concept, and how concept really helps you to bring your love story to life and make it more interesting than just two people who meet and fall in love, which that's what most love stories are, but that's kind of boring. So concept really brings something interesting to the table. And so in The Vow, which was actually based on a true story that happened to two people who were married. But the idea of this, the concept is, a renewed love story. So it's about two people who were married, and they have to, re-fall back in love because one of them doesn't remember that they are married. She doesn't have any memory of it because of the premise, which I'll get to in a second. But, basically she has no memory of the person she's married to. So therefore, that's going to cause automatically dramatic tension and conflict, but that's not really a story because that doesn't tell us anything, and it doesn't really put anything at stake other than, him having to help her regain her memory. But the premise of that is actually a car accident that plunges Paige, which is the, character, into a deep coma, which she miraculously comes out of, but then she's lost 5 years of her memory. And so she's basically, her husband now has to find himself fighting to save her and to stop her parents, so her controlling, manipulative parents and her ex-fiance from coming in and taking over her and, stealing her away from him. And so that's, the plot of that story. And then the concept is that, she lost her memory, she doesn't remember him, and he has to now, renew this love that they had so they can end up back together. And so, those are just the examples I had of concept and premise, and I hope that they are illustrating to you why they're both really important and why your story absolutely has to have them. So again, if you have any more questions on this, please put them in the chat box now. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this Periscope up, and I will be back Monday. All of next week, I'll be doing a Periscope Monday through Friday talking about characters. So I'm going to go into character arc and planning your characters and the 4 character context that story has. And so you don't want to miss that. So check out my Periscopes, and if you don't catch them live, you can go to this link right here, catch.me/inkybytes, and see all the replays and get all the information that you need to make sure that your story plan is totally kick-ass for Nano. So I'm going to wrap this up, and thank you so much for joining me, and I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend, and I will catch you on Monday. Bye!